Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. In this video, we will look at the question valid palindrome 2. Okay, so what is valid palindrome? Okay, let's first see what a palindrome actually is. A palindrome, a palindrome is a word which, when read backwards or from the front, is the same. Okay, so if I have, let's say, a word race car. Okay, if you read it from the front, you will get RACECAR. But if you read it from the back, you will still get RACECAR. Right, this is a palindrome. Let's say we have MADAM, right, madam. Now this is also a palindrome because if you read it from the front, you get MADAM, and if you read it from the back, you get MADAM. Right. So these are my palindromes. Now, uh, in this question, it is given that you don't have to check if it is a palindrome or not, but we have to return true if the string can be a palindrome after deleting at most one character from it. Okay, so we are given a string and we have to check that if we can remove a character from it, right? If we can make it a palindrome if we remove a character from it. So let's say we have A, B, C, D, right? Or A, B, C, A, right? This is my string A, B, C, A, right? If I remove, this is not a palindrome because if I read it from the front, I get A, B, C, A. If I read it from the back, I get A, C, B, A, right? This is not a palindrome. But if I remove a character from it, if I decide to remove, if I decide to remove this C, right, I will get A, B, A. Now this is a valid palindrome. Right? It is saying that I can remove at most one character from it, and after which, if it is a palindrome, then I will get the right answer. Okay, I will return true here because if I remove one character from it, I can get a palindrome. Okay, so let's say I have a string A B C D E C B A. Right, I have this string. Now if I read it from the front, I get A, B, C, D, E, C, B, A. And if I read it from the back, I get A, B, C, E, D, C, B, A. Now, this is still not a palindrome, but if I decide to remove one character from it, right? If I remove this D here, then I will get A, B, C, E, C, B, A. Right? Now, this is a palindrome. This is a palindrome because if you read it from the front, you get A, B, C, E, C, E, C, B, A. And if you read it from the back, you get A, B, C, E, C, B, A, which is the same. Okay. So you will get a palindrome if you remove this D. And if you decide to remove this E, right? If you decide to remove this E as well, you will still get a palindrome because if you decide to remove this E, you will still get a palindrome because you will get A, B, C, D, C, B, A, which is also a palindrome, right? We have A, B, C, D, C, B, A, read it from the front and read it from the back. Okay, so I can remove two characters from here or at most one character, but if I wanted to remove any one of them, it will give me a answer, right? So this is also true. But let's say I have this as my string. Right, I have this as my string. Now if I decide to remove a character from it, right, what will I get? Let's say I'm at this in this position, right? I'm checking for the last two. A and A are equal, I won't remove A. B and B are equal, not I won't remove A. B. C and C are equal, I won't remove B. C, right? But at this moment, I get D and H, right? These two are bothering me. So I can remove either one of them. If I remove this D, I will get A, B, C, E, F, E, H, C, B, A. Now this string is not a palindrome, right? If I remove this D, I will not get a palindrome. So I know that this removing this D will not give me a palindrome. But if I remove this H, I will get A, B, C, D, E, F, E, C, B, A. Now this is still not a palindrome because I'm getting this extra D, right? So it means that I cannot remove at most one character from this string to make it a palindrome. Right? So I will return false in this case because this is not a valid palindrome string. Okay. Now let's take one more example, or we already kind of know the approach, right? We already know the approach a little bit, that we are going to traverse something like this, I here and j here, right? So let's do this approach for a bigger string. Let's take a b c d e f e d h c b a, right? We have this string. Let's discuss the approach. Okay, so in this approach I will have two pointers, I and j, right? I here and j here. They will traverse through the string. Okay, so they will check if both of them are equal or not, right? The value at I is equal to the value at j. So here the value at I is equals to j, right? The value at I is equal to value at j. So I will increment my I and decrement my j. Okay, similarly here both are b, so I'll increment my I, decrement my j. Here as well both are same, so I'll increment my I and decrement my j. Now at this moment I have a fallacy. At this moment d and h are not equal, right? So at this moment the value at I is not equal to value at j, so I will have two cases, right? I can have two cases. So the first case is that I will remove, first case is I can skip d, right? If I skip this d, I will get e f e d h, right? So what am I doing is I'm trying to find this. I have this substring now, right? So I'm trying to find that if I remove one character from this, right? If I remove this d or this h, will I get a valid substring, right? So if I skip this d, I will get my rest of the string will be from this I, or from I plus 1 till j, right? So I will have e f e d h, e f e d h. Now this is not a palindrome, right? Not a palindrome. But let's say let's see my second case. Okay, I can skip h, right? So if I skip this h, if I remove this h, I will go here, right? So I will skip this h. If I skip this h, my j will go backwards, right? Now my the rest of the string will be d e f e d. Now this is the valid palindrome, right? This is a valid palindrome. This is a valid palindrome. So I can say that if I remove this h, I will get a valid palindrome, which is D, E, F, E, D. So my total string will also be a palindrome. Why am I checking this for the last two, or the rightmost and the leftmost characters only, right? Why am I checking this for D and H only? I could have tried to remove one character from inside, but you can see that these two characters are the characters which are unequal, right? So I have to remove one of them to make the string equal, to make the string a palindrome, right? These are the characters which are not equal, so I have to make a check for them only, right? So if I remove this h, if I skip this h, I will get d e f e d, which is a valid palindrome. So this is a valid answer, right? For this string I can say that this is a valid answer. This I will return true here. Okay, I will return true in this case. So I think the approach is clear. Now let's try to code this, because it is very easy. Okay, the first thing is I'll have two pointers, I and j. Right, now j will be at the end, so s dot length -1. Right, now I'll run a while loop while I is less than j, and I will check two things. I will now at this position at I and j, the only two things can happen, right? The value at I can be equal to the value at j, right? Or they cannot be equal. So s of I is equals to s of j. If this is true, else this is not true, right? They are equal, they are not equal. If they are equal, I'll increment my I, decrement my j. And if they are not equal, right? If they are not equal, I'll give them a chance that if I remove a character from you, I can get a valid answer, right? So I will say that if I try to remove one character from you, if I try to remove the leftmost or the rightmost character, right, from the if I remove the I or the j part, right, if I try to remove the value at I or the value at j, I can get a valid answer, right? So I'm trying to give it a chance. So if I try to remove the value at I will start from I plus 1 till j, right? I will check if this part, if this part is a valid palindrome or not, right? And this is I plus 1, right? My I was here, and I'm checking this for I plus 1 till j. And if I try to remove, or if I try to skip this h, I will do this work for j plus or for I till j minus 1, right? This will be my second substring. So I will do these things. I will check that if there is a valid palindrome from I till j minus 1 and from I plus 1 till j, right? I will have these two valid palindromes, or I will check for these two valid palindromes, for these two or for these two. Okay, either this range or this range. So I'll make an OR condition, and I'll make a is palindrome function is palindrome. This will take my string, my I plus 1 to j, right? Because I'm giving two indexes, and one index is from I plus 1 to j, and the second index is from uh, I to j minus 1. Okay, so if it is valid from I plus 1 to j, or if it is valid from I to j minus 1, here I'll return true, because if this function runs fine, then I can simply say that it is already a palindrome, right? So I don't need to remove a character. Here, I just need to write the is palindrome function, right? What will be the is palindrome function? String s, int I, int j, right? Now, I will make a while loop while I is less than j. Now here I'll just simply check if it is a palindrome or not, right? So if s of I is equals to s of j, right? If they are equal, then I'll increment my I, decrement my j. Else, I'll simply return false. Because if they are unequal, then the substring from I plus 1 to j or from I to j minus 1 is not a valid palindrome, right? So I'll return false. And if this runs completely fine, if this while loop runs completely fine, then I can return true. Okay. So this looks fine. Let's run this code. It is accepted. Let's submit this. This is the right answer. So I hope you understand this question. If you don't, I would suggest you watching the part which you don't understand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.